Hey guys, it's Gojira here. Long time no see. We're back with Beginning of the End Times, Call of Warhammer, a mod for Medieval 2, turning it into the Warhammer Old World and New World. Actually, the map is quite extensive in campaign, and it covers mostly all of the factions that you would expect to see at the end of Total War Warhammer 3 when the trilogy is complete. It does have quite a lot of factions, including Dogs of War, including all four of the different Chaos gods: Chaos, Undivided, Demons, um, Kislev, Ogres, Chaos Dwarfs, all those goodies. And it also includes Night Gobos as their own bona fide faction, which is just great, guys, because, I mean, what more do you need in life than some uppity Gobos? Um, but on a more, or I don't know, serious note, but the development team has worked really hard on this mod, and multiple patches have come out since I've made the last video, and I wish I'd been making more videos. I believe I'm going to start making videos more consistently now with Total War Warhammer 2. I don't know if I'm going to be doing that serious of commentaries on Total War Warhammer 2. I enjoy the game a lot, but I'm not really into the competitive scene so much as other commentators are. However, I do hope to bring you some of that content and have some fun with it, and hope you guys enjoy it as well. Dawn of War is definitely a possibility. Maybe a little bit of Gladius. I know a lot of people don't like that game, but some people do, and it is very different. I've never played a turn-based 40k game, actually, video game or tabletop. Not played a single turn of tabletop 40k or any tabletop 40k emulator slash game on the computer. So whatever that tangent was, we're getting back on track. We're beginning of the end times here. The development team is changing up. I don't exactly know what's happening with it. There's not been a lot of communication, but I believe it is changing up. One of the lead developers seems to have left, and we'll see where the future of this mod goes. But I think it's in a really good spot right now, and I am excited to bring you guys this replay. It's a pretty funny one. I enjoy playing Gobos. I enjoy this mod. This is one of my favorite mods of all time, and one of my favorite games. I like to call it a game because I barely play Med 2. If I have a choice between Med 2 and this mod, I would choose this 9 times out of 10. We're going to play in slow motion here, and we're going to go over the army comps. I know you guys probably, a lot of you know the mechanics of this game, and a lot of you don't. I'll explain a little bit of them, but I'm not going to try to be over cumbersome right off the bat. So we have some squig hoppers. They're relatively slow cavalry. We have one on each flank. They are really good at taking down infantry, but they have a slow charge, and they're not very mobile, maneuverable, and they will get just shredded by elite cav or monster type units or missiles. So they're really squishy. They can deal a lot of damage. Now we have goblin netters in the secondary line here. These guys are to hit blobs of infantry when we have the mainline engagement. The reason for this is because Gobos by themselves will not stand up to Dark Elves. No way in hell. But with the netters, they actually disrupt the battle line and send guys flying. That's how they work. They don't actually net people, but they send guys flying, disrupt it, and so it gives me the edge in combat. We have Doom Divers, as you saw before. These little buggers are going to be sending themselves to their deaths, and they actually do have it so it takes away a model each time you send off a Doom Diver, which is a very cool mechanic. Game. We're going to be hitting those Dark Shards and some Witch Elves. A little inaccurate right now, but we'll see how it goes. We have Trolls and Stone Trolls on each flank. These guys are the heavy hitters. They're supposed to deal with the cav, supposed to route units. They're pretty much your all-use unit. For the Night Goblins, they have good leadership until you introduce gunfire or any other fear effects, and then they go running like little girls. But they are kind of the mainstay of Night Goblins in this mod. Madcap Loons, they are leadership buff Night Goblins, so they help with leadership a little bit. And they have a little bit better melee stats than normal Night Goblins, which I have 2 or 3 spears on the front line. Now, my opponent is playing Dark Elves. He's going to fake a charge here. We're going to be kind of baiting out charges from the Trolls and the Cold One Knights here. Golden Knights are, of course, heavily armored Dark Elves on lizard velociraptor things. I forget what they're called. They are very good. They have 2 HP, which is a big deal in this game. I'll explain HP probably at the end of the video or in another video. And they hit like trucks. Really high charge, really durable. They're a really good cav unit in this game. So, my opponent also has brought Dread Spears in a compact formation. The standard Dark Elf Dread Spears, you know these guys from Total Warhammer 2. And they just serve the purpose of holding the line and dishing out some decent damage, but mostly for anti-cav, wanting the charge and holding the line. Witch Elves, real damage dealers, can screech and dismay the enemy with debuffs, morale debuffs. We have Dark Shards here, which are going to be starting skirmishing with my large Night Goblin Archer contingent, which I totally forgot about, by the way, guys. Tisk tisk. These guys are just numersome, and they are pretty crappy otherwise, but there's a lot of them. Dark Shards, they have fast reload rate. They don't have armor piercing, but they have really good missile damage, and they have a little more ammo than they're supposed to in this patch. He has a unit of Dark Riders here, just missile cav that are trading with some Night Goblin Archers, which may not be favorable in the long run. Do they have any other special units? Dread Spears, Bleak Swords, standard Dark Elf, Sword Infantry. Pretty good, will beat up any Gobbo unit, but are not elite by any means. And he has the elite... Nope! Just kidding, he has some Pirates, which have a little more melee attack and charge, but are not particularly unique or elite in any way. So, we're getting slammed in here, slammed by these Cold One Knights into the Madcap Loons. I actually am gonna let's play fully to its full speed, because games can get dragged out in this mod. So they're gonna slam into the Madcap Loons, but I'm gonna countercharge with some patrols, do some damage. Madcap Loons will not survive in long-term combat with Witch Elves and these Cold One Knights who are wiggling their way free from the grasp of the trolls. Compact Dread Spears are kind of waving their way onto the flank, interesting enough. Not direct charge, and they kind of got caught with a weird move. However, Witch Elves are getting engaged by a lot of trolls here, unsupported, with these Night Goblins, and these trolls, I'm telling you, when they're grouped up, they can smash about anything, and he needs to be really careful with these Witch Elves. Needs to support them with cav or what have you, but these cav are getting torn apart by these Night Goblin Archers. And now my haggard front line of Gobbos are going up against the Dread Spears long term. Of course, any Dark Elf infantry will just trash my mainline infantry. Poor Gobbos. But they will hold, and with the netters, they're somewhere. I think these were the netters, or wherever the netters are, they're supposed to be throwing in their nets to disrupt this infantry line. Here we are. So they're disrupting the infantry line, whilst my Gobbos survive here, and the trolls have to try to deal with the cav and whatnot. And eventually, I'll hopefully reinforce this line with trolls and squigs, what have you. Now in the back line, a lot of shenanigans are happening. Cold One Knights getting into these Goblin Archers, just massacring them on most every charge, trying to intercept with trolls, but it's not looking good enough. Trying to intercept with Squig Hoppers, but they're so pathetically slow that I don't know if they're going to be able to do anything here. Oh, they got a few down, stab them in the butt. Maybe it'll work. Looks like my Night Goblin Brigade here is starting to rout off. Mainline is not looking good here, folks. I have some Night Goblins just spaced out, trying to stall these Dread Spears from just cutting them to shreds, and these Witch Elves from cutting them to shreds, until I can get the rest of my force into these guys. But it's not looking great. I'm looking very heavily outnumbered here quickly, even though I had superior numbers to begin with. I'm the green horde, the little Wah. Now we're getting some Cold One Knights charging in to these poor Gobbos, right in the back. They're going flying. Oh god, the haggard models. You know, the models are really good for their time, but Medieval 2 definitely has shown its age compared to Warhammer 2. Cold One Knights, 11 of them. They're trying to aid, they kind of biff the charge. Frontline still slowly scraggling down to the last few trolls and Night Goblin infantry units here. Flank's doing pretty well because I have multiple troll units, or at least one troll unit here, dishing out some damage to these Dread Spears. Now keep in mind, folks, the Dread Spears do not do extra damage towards trolls. Trolls are technically classified as heavy, so only spears can do damage against cavalry, and that's about the only bonus that's coded in for Med 2. Now I'm charging in with the blob here. Oh, just smacking around these bleak swords, routing them. So this is the power of the Night Goblin army. Fear. With the squigs and the trolls blob up enough and get just the right charge, you can deal some damage. And Dark Elf mainline infantry is not that sturdy. Like, they're good. They're better than, you know, standard human empire stuff. We got some weird engaged dread spears. These guys have been very clumped up in their engagements. They survive, obviously, but they have... So I'm going to the Dark Shards. Looks like these Dark Shards have their swords out. That means they're out of ammo. So it's going to be a very blobby battle here. The last stand. Look at this horde of Dark Shards just charging into these trolls. Oh god, the humanity, the elf-manity. And got some cold ones. His cav is pretty diminished from the fights with the trolls and the squigs combined. I kind of won that attrition battle. However, the rest of my army is pretty much dead. Now it is going to be blob versus blob here. I'm going to try to minimize the rear charges. I tried to turn around these squigs the last moment, but he gets some trolls right in the back. Get him good. A charge from the rear. And that can also deal heavy morale damage, as well as rear charges can proc insta-kills in this game. So if you get a good rear charge, you can kill about anything if the percentage procs. But my horde here is just kind of sitting here blobbed up. Now this isn't exactly the position you want to be in, but this is the position you want your trolls in general, is together and grouped, so you can deal that morale damage and that heavy massive amount of units. Really great stats. These trolls have really good stats. Multiple HP, 4 HP I believe, and they have more mass than the Dark Elf, obviously, and can just push through them and push them over, stun them, smack them around. And these trolls don't get stunned either, so when, you know, a Dark Elf goes to stab him and he misses, the troll does not respond. He just keeps swinging. He doesn't give a shit. Whereas usually it's coded in for you to respond and parry. Dark Rider's not really having an effect anymore. They got pretty shot up by my Gobbo firing line. He has a full unit of Blackwork Corsairs that was coming in for rear charges, popping up remainder of these squiggies, poor squigs. All they wanted to do was eat some elf flesh. The horde of trolls coming in to beat up these Cold One Knights. Now, it is a very good possibility that trolls may be overpowered in certain contexts. Of course, cavalry microed right can destroy trolls off the charge, the front or in the rear. You just have to be very careful how long you leave your cav in, and if you're missile focusing these trolls. Now, this is not looking the best for me. It's not looking the worst either. He has so many units that he can just swarm me, but if he doesn't swarm me properly and just lets me engage from the front, I think I might be able to pull it off with the fear and the combined just raw melee power of these trolls. So I have 2 remaining trolls that got stuck. You guys will probably get torn to pieces soon here, if they're focused by these boys. I'm going to try to sift around and try to engage. Just hope he just charges all of his stuff at me from the front. That's all I have left. I'm just trolling around. I'm trolling him, guys, and it seems to be working. I'm not sure. And we do a full frontal charge. The Corsairs come in, and it's gonna be a bloody bash till the end. We're gonna see which blob wins. And this usually isn't how Med 2 goes down. I just thought this was a funny little replay to reintroduce you guys to BOTET on YouTube, and we're gonna see whose blob wins, essentially here. The tactics of the gods, just trolls and a whole bunch of angry delfs, just trying to take down these terrors. Horrible, ugly, just disgusting monstrosities of God. Really, these things are quite unholy looking. The Dark Elves, however, are not rear charging. They're not trying to flank, and they have some Dark Shards. That may prove maybe a little useful, but there's so little of them that they're not going to really do anything to these trolls. They're just not going to be able to put out the DPS that's required to kill them. So he dedicated all of his forces Dude, let's speed up a little here. See what goes on. And I believe if he doesn't move or switch around here, I think I can pull out the victory. On our very tactical gameplay here, guys. But this was just kind of a goofy game, and Night Goblins, if we're being honest, they do not win a lot of their matches, if we're talking percentages, you know, overall. But it is fun when they do win, and it is fun when certain strategies work. Troll spam is a viable strategy for goblins, but it is not always viable against certain factions, such as High Elves. Anything with really good and large amounts of cav, or can field large amounts of cav, because you can outmaneuver them, and if you get some gunpowder in them with Empire, Kislev, what have you, they will rout. So there's a lot of ways to deal with trolls. I say they're overpowered in situations because, in situations like this, he could have taken measures to flank around and try to surround these trolls better, get rear charges, which can proc those auto kills. But I think it was almost done as soon as he lost his cavalry. I think that was the big play. It's usually meant to comes down to the cav anyways. And yeah, that's the Gobos took the day. For the one time, the dub goes to the NGs, the Gobos, MLG, the best of the greenskins. Really is the trolls, honestly. They're the best of the green. Yep. And pretty much at this point, it is game over. We're just waiting for our opponent to concede here. I don't know when he does that. It does end fairly soon here. And I hope you guys enjoyed this little bash fest here. I really do enjoy playing and getting involved with the community of BOTET. A lot of the players are really good guys. It's a really fun, entertaining game. Last Charge, the Rohirrim Dark Elf style. And yeah, I really do enjoy this game. It's really haggard looking if you're coming from a Total War Warhammer 2 perspective, but I honestly think it looks beautiful because I saw it, you know, at its very early stages, and there's just been a lot of improvements on models and art styles, and just a lot of work put into this mod, blood, sweat, and tears by the developers, and I'm thankful for it, and I'm happy it's still around, and we're gonna get some great content on it, and I hope you guys are looking forward to it, because I am. And let's look at the stats real quick. Hopefully this isn't like a 20-minute video. It may be. It will maybe. 200 on the stone trolls, almost, or a piece, except for one slacker. I wish we could look at the dark elf kill count, but unfortunately, guys, we cannot. So I can't go around and gallivant what effective they were, because I can only see that on the battlefield. That's like on the nutters. And yeah, so 89 on squig hoppers, 53. They did okay. Let's see what the archers did. They did all right. 76. There's a good one. Gobos. Again, this faction is sort of a meme faction. It was not balanced to be on par with a lot of the other factions in the game, and that's just how it was done and how the Gobos roll. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and let me know if you guys would be interested in any other games like Total Warhammer 2, Dawn of War, thinking about Gladius, Blood Bowl, of course Blood Bowl with the Wild Hog season 2, season 2 actually. And yeah, that's about it, guys. Hope you have a good day, and catch you later.